equivalents that we pay. Are there any questions on the financial statements?
All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve our April financial report.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further questions or comments for Mr. Ray? Hearing none. Kim, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Lori Wilson,
Yes.
Tim Bobbin,
Yes.
Merle Price.
Yes.
Jody Smith,
Yes.
Debbie Higgins.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to budget amendment number 5.
Budget amendment number 5, I believe, has been passed out in hard copy form. The first page is a memo from myself. There is nothing in for the federal projects or the school nutrition, so it's all general purpose school fund. The lion's share is increases and decreases to various line items to keep us compliant for the audit, so we don't spend more than we budget. That's kind of the general principle. I did recognize the state bonuses that are to be paid to certain qualified teachers, the $2,000 bonus, and I recognize that revenue, we're going to pay that in June, on June 30th, and I'll accrue the revenue even though we won't get it until July. Some school districts are paying it in July and recognizing everything next year, but we know where we stand, and the list is accurate as who gets it and who doesn't. So we're going to knock that out in June, and so that's reflected in this budget amendment. We have about $111,000 increase for science supplemental material to supplement the science textbook adoption.
And I'll kind of give the clarification on that. So last month, we approved the purchase of the textbooks. And so there's two components. There's the textbooks that we have purchased, but then also with the new science standards that have been approved by the State Department, it is very project-based learning. It is very STEM-focused. And so you have to have a lot of manipulatives and microscopes, magnifying glasses, and a lot of like consumables in order to pull off the experiments and the hands-on activities that accompany the lesson. And so Lori has been working with Kimberly Odell, and the textbook company sells for each of the modules in each grade level, there's a kit that literally is everything the teacher needs to be able to implement that. So they're not out looking for 6-inch string, or they're not looking for 3-ounce cups. It is right there for them just to take it and run with it. And if we want teachers to use it, we need to make it easily accessible to where they're not trying to find the consumables and non-consumables to pull off the expectation of the textbooks. And so Kimberly and Lori did explore a cheaper way to try to find those, but the textbook company knows best what is going to be needed to be able to pull off those lessons. And so after lots of exploration and talking with Scott, we decided to just stick with McGraw-Hill and buy the kits. And so what will happen is we'll purchase these kits, and then we keep the non-consumable things in each module kit. But then next year we will replace, and they will just send us the consumables to go along with each one of the hands-on activities. So that required the increase in that line item.
That's pretty much the lion's share of the budget amendment. It was 4 pages, a lot of ups and downs. I did adjust some revenues. There's really nothing that flies off the page to draw your attention to, other than, budgeting for the bonuses that's required. The increases and decreases in salary and benefits are due to, we might change our mind on staffing a certain position, or health insurance needs might change depending on who's hired and what their family situation is. So there's a lot of moving parts. This kind of just wraps it all together and finalizes it. So it'd be my recommendation that you approve the budget amendment number 5.
All right, we have a recommendation to approve budget amendment number 5. I'll entertain a motion to approve budget amendment number 5.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further questions or comments for Mr. Ray? Hearing none. Kim, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Lori Wilson.
Yes.
Tim Buckle.
Yes.
Earl Prince.
Yes.
Joey Smith.
Yes.
Debbie Higgins.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to new business. At the end of every year, we still have bills coming in and things to be paid and things to be finalized at the end of the year that we sometimes can't get met by the end of the physical last day of school. So what we normally do is extend our financial obligations, allowing Kelly to go ahead and finish up our financials with Scott in order to iron those out as we get bills in after the technical end of the year into the beginning of the next following year. So this is just a routine extension of financial obligations that we must do every year in order to get our bills paid. I'll entertain a motion to approve the extension of financial obligations.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our school board meeting schedule. Does anybody have any questions or anything regarding our upcoming schedule?
Kim put the schedule together basically the way we always have done it in the past. Typically, it is on the second Thursday of every month, but due to fall break and TSBA convention and Nashville in November, some of those have been tweaked to accommodate just our schedule, but it's pretty typical of what we've done in the past.
Okay. All right. Any recommended changes or anything to our proposed schedule? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve our schedule as presented. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving up next is our 2025-26 annual agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve our annual agenda as presented.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Move on to our approve RFPs.
So we've lumped all of these together, but of course, at the end of the year, and especially during the summer, we try to crank out some capital projects and some different things. But anything that is over $25,000, we are required to do a request for proposal. And anything that is over $10,000, we are required to get a quote. And so we just wanted out of transparency to let you see the things that we are RFPing and the things that we are quoting. The flooring is going to be to remove the old vinyl tile at South Clinton and some additional classrooms. As you know, we're just doing a few classrooms a year. And then if you have been to central office lately, you do know that we have a wide variety of white cracked tiles that creak as you walk across. And those were the original white tiles that were put when central office was put down there. So we are going to replace the floor in central office just so that people have a good first impression when they come in. So that is being RFP'd. Scott has gotten quotes for the fencing at the Clinton Elementary Playground. So this will be the fencing that goes around the new all-inclusive playground. Our crisis alert system, that's our Centegix badges. And so every 5 years, we are required to RFP that. And then iReady is obviously our benchmarking and our individualized learning platform that we're required every 5 years to RFP that. And then Chromebooks, and then our student information system is Aspen. I don't suspect that we will move away from Aspen because we've used that for the past 7 years and it has served us very well, but we do have to at least look at the other vendors to make sure that Aspen is still the best choice. So instead of individually doing those, we just thought it might be easier to do a blanket approval, but if you want to pull any out and discuss, we're happy to do that.
Okay. Does anyone have a recommendation to pull out and discuss any of the RFPs listed?
Just question. Is there likely that we'd have another crisis alert
No,
RFP come in
no.
since the system's already in?
The system is going to be upgraded because they've made some upgrades to the system, and so that will, they're going to come in and like redo all of the infrastructure for that as well. But really, Centegix is about the only vendor that offers the caliber and the complete package. There's some other ones out there. Raptor is another one that's well-known, but it is super, super pricey. So Centegix will be the cheaper route for that, so.
All right. Any further questions? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the RFPs that are listed.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the Health Department and the dental program and the Lions Club for the Vision. This is something that we do every year. Obviously, being a dentist, I have to state a disclaimer because I also work at the Health Department and help with this program. So I don't get paid anything. School gets paid nothing. So there is absolutely no benefit but to the children who may or may not be able to receive health services in the position that they're in. So with that disclaimer, does anybody have any questions or comments regarding the approval for the Health Department dental program and the Lions Club for Vision?
It's just a good program. Just thankful for it.
It really does serve a multitude of students across the district that otherwise would not get those services.
Motion to approve?
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our breakfast and lunch pricing for 2025, 2026, which I believe stays the same, correct, Ms. Kelly?
It does. Scott, would you like to
Sure.
speak to that?
Kind of, so I guess last meeting, we alluded to the SFE proposed a contract renewal for 25, 26. Annually, we have to renew our contract with them. Even though it's a 5-year agreement, it's subject to annual renewal, meaning we can reject or they could reject with notice. So they proposed no increase. That's been finalized. It's gotten state approval, and I've signed the contract for that. So given that, there's no increase. I evaluated the costs. So on your memo, you have it's a two sides. The one side is what I would call for publication. It just references that there's no price increase, and the back side kind of talks about our profit and loss for breakfast and our profit and loss for lunch for each meal. Basically, you've got 3 columns. You've got a paid student that has to pay 100% for the meal. You've got a reduced student, and then you've got a free student. And you can see, even though we have a paid student, we still get a supplement from the USDA for that student. But we lose money on the breakfast. On the reduced and the free students, we lose just a little bit less money. But still, breakfast is not a winner financially. And then you move to lunch, and we are profitable on the lunches that are free and reduced, and less so on the paid lunches. You wrap out all together, and it kind of nets out to an overall positive. We're not losing money in the cafeteria. So as long as we can maintain that, I don't see, and we have a fund balance, pretty healthy fund balance in the cafeteria fund. I don't feel like there's a need to raise prices unless we do experience a significant increase next year in our SFE contract, or if the government can require you to raise your price.
Which they've done before for us.
They've done that, and we have a waiver for that requirement because we have a positive fund balance. And the theory is that we make money on the free kids, So we get more money from the USDA for free student, free meal. That's not supposed to supplement the paid student. So if you're losing money on the paid student and you're gaining money on the free student, it makes it appear as if the USDA supplementing the paid kids or the affluent kids. We have other methods of revenue with our à la carte, and so we're in the commodities that I really like to use that commodity number as our net profit for the year, and that's where we'll wind up this year, probably between $30,000 and $40,000 of an increase in fund balance. So all that, I don't see a reason to raise prices.
And we still, even though we lose money on breakfast, we still encourage all.
Oh.
We encourage all students to eat. I know there was a time, where we had to make that difficult decision to stop the universal free, but we still, Scott is watching those breakfast numbers closely, and if SFE is not happy with them, they're trying to brainstorm ways to get more kids in there in the morning to eat, because we certainly want all children to eat.
So hopefully the end result, we'll have an increase in participation. More kids will be eating with us, which is, like Kelly said, that's what we want. Because we can control their healthy meals. That's not always the case in the mornings in drive-throughs. Are there any questions on how that works? No?
I don't hear any.
Okay.
All right.
I guess you can approve the current price list as recommended.
Okay. All right, we have a recommendation to approve the 2025-26 breakfast and lunch pricing as presented.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our SNP and our local agricultural products.
So this is just an annual agreement that we have to send to the State Department. SMP stands for School Nutrition Program, and it's just our annual contract that we agree to administer the program as it is intended. And so we've got that contract tonight upon your all's approval. Dr. Bible can sign it on your behalf, and we turn that into the State Department.
And the local ag plan is in addition to that, and it's just try to buy local if you can. It's not a requirement that we do buy local no matter what, but in buy in the U.S. That's kind of laid in through the USDA, but price is the determining factor.
Okay. All right, any further questions or comments? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the SNP and the local agriculture products compliance plan for 2025 and 2026.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to increase our local government investment pool. We talked about this before, Mr. Ray.
And I'm coming to you again with a request, increase it. Everybody should have a spreadsheet on your desk. Yours is black and white because I'm too frugal to print in
We would
color
have
for you all.
appreciated color, Mr. Ray.
Sorry. But I'll just draw your attention to the bottom of that spreadsheet, and the middle two columns, it says fund balance FB greater than cash. So at 6/30/24, our fund balance was greater than cash, and that's where I expect that to be, because we have several receivables to come in, so we don't have the cash yet. We've recognized the revenue, so that goes into fund balance. And the receivables outweigh the payables. Payables is the reverse. We recognize the expense and haven't paid the cash yet. So that's a normal area for us to be in at the beginning of the year. And as we progress throughout the year, we move towards the opposite, relationship where fund balance is going to be less than cash. And we have a difference of about $2.5 million. And that is about what I'm asking to increase our investment into local government investment pool. Ultimately, so the two columns, the column that's headed 61725 balance, right now our regions account is sitting at just under $7 million. Our 3-month operating costs usually fall within between 1.5 and 2 million. So we definitely have an excess balance. So I propose with your authorization that we invest an additional $2 million in the local investment pool. The reason that came in is the city of Clinton was holding on to that money for us. If you look, it says investment, City of Clinton. Various CDs they had throughout the years. And I've kind of determined that I think we need to probably take control of those funds. Not because I'm worried about what they were doing. I think it's just less cumbersome for me to have to reach out to them and get what the interest is and the balance.
And we've actually gotten good success with local government
The local
investment
government
pool.
investment pool, it's very liquid. So it's not, and we keep enough money in cash that we're not going to have a cash flow problem. But I look at next year us earning between $150,000 and $200,000 in interest. So, I mean, that's a couple positions. Or increase our fund balance even more, and takes money to make money. But maybe we can talk a little bit more about our kind of our fund balance policy at a retreat. I think that'd be good for us to chat about where we want to be in the next 5, 10, and 15 years. But the local government investment pool is not insured, but it's run by the state of Tennessee. You can look and see who's got their money in it, and I mean, we're small potatoes compared to some bigger counties that are putting their excess money to work for them. So any questions on that? I think ultimately I'd like to move. I'm less concerned about bank failures now than I was last year or the year before. So that's kind of setting that part aside a little bit. We still have that to worry about a little bit, but not as concerning as a year ago. So that's still on my radar, but I think now we can focus more on earning, and that's where the local investment pool will help us out.
So basically, in a nutshell, the city was investing money for us. We asked for that money back, and we're asking to put that money into local
Yeah.
and government investment pool.
Up to, I just asked for a $2 million increase. I think it wound up, they gave us 2.7 million. But
So the benefit is that it earns a higher
we are
yield.
getting about 4 to 5% on average.
And the con would be the fact that it's not insured.
It's not insured, but
The whole
Would
state
it-
would need to collapse in order.
it would be a significant, everybody would be in the same pain.
Right.
It wouldn't just be us, it would be something catastrophic.
Right.
Like what?
Catastrophic meaning bank failures, default by the U.S. government on debt.
Which is a huge,
Probably shouldn't have said that, but, and then you would have state bonds that are defaulting as well. And
How fast can you pull it out, though?
oh,
Like if you foresaw, or if you were looking towards something happening,
Yeah.
or you're,
that would be like a run on the bank, and that could be an issue for the local, I mean.
everybody would be in the
That
same
would
boat.
cause a problem, but if we wanted to re-roof, Clinton, and it was $2 million, I can have it in 4 days. And we don't have a cash flow problem. I guess the risk is,
Not being insured.
and I think that you would experience a significant recession if we were to have a problem. So the price of everything would just drop. And it's kind of like, if everybody in the world got $100,000, what would happen to the price of cars? They just go up. If everybody in the world lost $100,000, the price of cars would go down, and that'd be the same thing that would happen in general.
All right. All right, any further questions for Mr. Ray? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve local government investment pool increase by $2 million. Do
So moved.
we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Since that does involve financials there, Kim, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Lori Wilson.
Yes.
Tim Bobbin.
Yes.
Earl Cross. Joey Smith.
Yes.
Debbie Higgins.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to our director's evaluation and contract. Well, it's always good to come to this time of year. Everything is winding down. You get to end on a positive note. Positive note being that, we have done Kelly's evaluation, and as always, doing a wonderful job. I speak not only on my behalf, but on behalf of the board. And we also extend a thanks to Molly Scarborough for, once again, the former chairman of our school board that always helps us out with these evaluations every year. A heartfelt thank you to Molly as well. But Kelly continued to do a great job. Everything consistently meets and exceeds our expectations. There was absolutely nothing in the usually meets expectations and below that. So you're knocking it out of the park, doing a wonderful job. Once again this year, as in every year that you've been with us. Great comments are, we're blessed to have a director like Kelly, who has an unwavering commitment to high expectations and a true love for the children, and leadership and wisdom is unmatched. Many great comments. Continues to excel in all areas of her job, celebrates with staff, takes care of problems professionally. Just a great representation of Clinton City Schools and the community as well. And I, for one, am highly grateful and thankful that you're with us and continue to be with us. If anybody else has any other comments or anything?
He's exceptional.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate the feedback and the kindness that you all always give me. I mean, no one is perfect, and we ebb and flow, and as great as Clinton City Schools is, we can always get better, and that's what we try to do. But truly, and I know I say this every year, but you haven't heard me say it, Debbie, so I'll let you hear it, but I would not do this job anywhere else other than in Clinton City Schools. And part of that is because of what you all do. You all are extremely supportive. You allow us to do our jobs. You trust us to do our jobs. You give good feedback. You all are invested in our children and love the children equally as much as I do. But not every school board is that lucky, and not every director is as lucky to come to the table with 6 professionals who just truly make decisions in the best interest of kids. And we have something very unique here in Clinton City Schools, and it is an honor for me to be able to play a small part in that, but my team and the teachers, I mean, really honestly, when you shut the doors of the classroom, that's where the magic happens. And our job is just to support that. The teachers are the hardworking ones that pour their heart and soul out to our kids every day. And Clinton City Schools is in a good place. There will come a point in time where you're going to want me to go to the house, and when that happens, I hope that you tell me. But until then, I always say this every year, this is a destination for me, not a journey. So this is where I stay till I don't. So I just appreciate all of your support, and we just have something great here in Clinton City.
Absolutely. The other part that, and we can do that to do the both approvals at the same time, is the director's contract. I am assuming, and of course, what they say when you assume, that with a great evaluation and being a wonderful representation, that closing out this year, that you're currently on a 4-year contract, closing out the end of this year, you will be on a current 3-year contract. And at the end of this actual year, I think it is in our best interest as a board to extend Kelly's contract to the maximum amount allowable by the state, which is a 4-year contract. So we would be putting her back on a 4-year contract once this year is complete. And that would be my recommendation in order to do that. And I will accept a motion to approve, number one, her contract, and number two, her evaluation.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Any further questions or comments? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Welcome to stay with us
Oh,
for an
well,
extra year, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you. This is always one of the most uncomfortable things that we do all year long, so I'm grateful for your kind words, grateful for your support. Happy to be here.
All righty, moving on, we have taken a look through our reports and our information there. The Summer Law Institute is coming up here very, very quickly. No school board meeting next month. The fall district meeting's time and date is noted. And with that, we'll move on to our director's report.
Okay, just a few little end-of-the-year updates for you all. Today and tomorrow, we've approved approximately 35 new transfer applications this year. And so we are trying to get those students registered. So they're coming in today and tomorrow to get registered. And then we will continue to register any new city students daily from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday throughout the summer. It's hard to believe, but summer school is already wrapping up. Next week is week 4. So our students have had 20 additional days of reading and math instruction. And it has just gone, as always, so smoothly. I greatly appreciate all the teachers who dedicate their time off of contract to work summer school. We work hard, but we also play hard. One of their most favorite parts is the string class, and so they get an hour of string class a day, where it's science, technology, engineering, art, reading, math, all combined into one. I don't think I even said those in the right order, but they are doing some remarkable things. In fact, TCAT reached out, and actually it was Mrs. Bible. She worked with them and got TCAT to come, and they went and talked to the rising 4th through 7th graders yesterday about AI, and then they brought one of their laser engravers and modeled that for the kids. And so what I was told is that that was a great big hit, and it was a great way to open up a partnership with TCAT, because now they plan to attend our Career on Wheels days, and so they got to brainstorm some other ways that they can support us. So they always end a Friday with Kona Ice, and so that is always a big favorite. But our attendance has really done well this year. We have maintained about 120, 125 students every day. So this has been one of the larger groups that we have seen. I do want to share with you, as we end this year, as you know, with our new 3rd grade promotion and retention law that was passed, this is the 3rd year that we have implemented this, and it took some tweaking. I think no one's goal is to ever retain a child, as research doesn't really show that that is an effective intervention the majority of the time. But what we have seen is that we are really working the pathways as intended to provide additional supports to students, so that you can see, Jamie broke it out by each school, but then also as a district, we had 136 3rd graders. 32 of those were exempt for a variety of reasons in the law. They've either been retained before, they receive special education services, or they are an English as second language student. And then you see the number that were proficient on the original TCAP was 66. And I will have to tell you that out of all of the grade level TCAPs, for whatever reason, third grade is the most difficult. And even when we look at our iReady, which does predictive measures for us of who will be proficient, there's just an increase in rigor on the third grade assessment as to compared to the fourth, fifth, and sixth. So 66% were proficient. Then they have a chance to retake that minus the writing assessment. When all the children retook it, 4 moved into the proficiency category. There was 3 students that took it that improved a level, meaning if they were like a below basic, they went up to approaching. And that changes their pathway to promotion for fourth grade. We had 5 students system-wide. If they scored 50th percentile or above on AIMSweb, which is our universal screener, we were allowed to appeal that at the district level and send them on to fourth grade with required tutoring next year. Then if they were 40th percentile or above, the parents could appeal to the State Department and receive an appeal. And so 5 of our students went that pathway. They'll still get tutoring next year. And then we had 19 students that were ineligible for an appeal, so they'll have to do summer school or required tutoring. And then 5 of our students have to do summer school and tutoring, which means that they scored in the below basic. So as you can look, once you see proficiency scores, a really neat thing to see about Clinton City is that as they move up, our proficiency rates typically increase. And so by the time we get to 6th grade, our proficiency rates are the highest of all the grades, which shows that we take this information and we continue to provide the intervention and the supports necessary for them to ultimately be successful. So we continue to work on that. 3rd grade is a big year. And that's the first year that they take a standardized test where they're having to bubble in the answers. And quite frankly, like one of the reading assessments is 90 minutes long. So we're asking 8 and 9-year-olds to sit for 90 minutes and read passages and answer questions. So there's a little bit of a stamina issue there as well. But I do think the state moved in a good direction, allowing for the retake, allowing for the appeal with the AIMSweb, another assessment. And so when push comes to shove, all of our kids are in a pathway that's going to support them. But I wanted you to have those numbers.
So this means nobody was retained?
At this point, no one is retained. There could potentially be if you are a below basic and you don't meet that summer school requirement.
Like if they just don't go?
If they don't go, correct. So we'll know more after summer school. Summer school is over. That's kind of if you are in the approaching category, you can do summer school or tutoring. We encourage summer school anyway because that gives them an additional 20 days. And then through our response to intervention program, everybody gets intervention for 45 minutes a day, either intervention or enrichment. So they're getting the double. That's what we encourage. But, we've got some situations where it's a divorced family and the dad, has custody of the kid out of town, for the summer. And we've got a few situations like that where summer school just isn't feasible. And so the parents are choosing the tutoring for the next year. But if they are below basic, they have to attend the summer school and then also the tutoring for the entire 4th grade year. Let's see. We just did receive our TCAP achievement data from the state. It is embargoed until July 8th. I will tell you, upon looking at it, I think that there are some very, very bright areas that we are going to celebrate. So look forward to being able to share that with the public on July the 8th. And then TVOS, which is our student growth, will be released in mid-July. We recently added an AI feature to our Clinton City Schools website. So that's the district website and also all 3 schools. And we're kind of excited about this. I wasn't sold on it to begin with because, websites can kill you with all the add-on features and everything they want you to upgrade to. But once I watched it, I really do think it's going to help parents and people find the information. When you go to a website, you have to know how everything is laid out, and sometimes it can be cumbersome to find the information that you want to find. So this bot actually, if I was a parent and I wanted to know when spring break was, I can type in when is spring break, and it's going to search the website and tell the parent that information without the parent having to go and try to figure out how to work the website. And so we're actually going to get some logistics and some different things, different data on this as to, what parents are asking, and then if it was able to successfully answer it or not. So we kind of know what are the hot spots that we need to make sure that we're communicating with parents, because they don't know and are having to go to the website to find out. But it looks promising. So we will look at how much that is used and see if that's something that we need to continue. But I do think it just makes the information easier to find for our parents. We will be having a booth at the Anderson County Fair, as always. You all have gotten your annual magnet that has the school schedule on it, so we will be disseminating that to parents each evening at the fair. And then, it's hard to believe, but principals are going to return on contract on July the 14th, and teachers will return on July 28th. And we will be holding sneak peek for our new students on July 30th. That is a Wednesday from 3:30 to 5:30. And that gives parents a chance to come into the schools and to meet the teachers, see the classroom, drop off school supplies, sign any forms that they need to sign. And we've done that for the past several years, and it has just really, really eased the first day jitters for everybody. And then the Education Foundation is going to host the annual Stuff the Bus at Walmart on July 25th and 26th. So Clinton City people will be out there. We flip-flop with Anderson County schools, and so Anderson County has Friday night this year. We have all day Saturday. So we will have Clinton City people outside of Walmart all day Saturday and collecting supplies to stuff the bus, and then all of those supplies are used for the Teacher Supply Depot throughout the year. So we just wrapped up, or will be wrapping up on June 30th, our 130th year of our tradition of excellence, and we look forward to 131. Any questions for me?
All right, thank you, Kelly. All right, anything further? All right, hearing none, I'll declare this meeting adjourned.